Hello, myself here. Wow, it only looks dark, doesn't it? I think I can fix that. No, no, no. Well, I can just. Anyways, in this video, I plan to respond to some comments made on my channel homepage, YouTube, from a few months ago. Apparently, I just noticed them now, and just in the future, if anyone wants to contact me, the best way on YouTube would probably be by message, not a comment on my channel, because some of these are 2 to 4 months old, and I'm apparently just noticing them now. So, anyways, I'd like to respond to the comments that people have made because I like to have an interaction between people contacting me on YouTube and with the videos and such. And so, one particular individual has mentioned Numbers chapter 31 verses 1 through 18, and he goes on about the verses about Moses and the Israelites. He also mentions Genesis chapter 38 verses 6 through 27, and then he goes on about what Judah did. I believe Judah being the son of Israel, one of the 12 sons of Israel. Then he mentions Exodus chapter 32 verse 25, and he mentions Moses again where he came down the mountain, was angry. And his argument pretty much is, look at these men in the Bible, they're your examples and look how horrible they are. But what he fails to realize is that in Christianity, not every character in the Bible is this perfect person. Yes, there's likable characteristics in them, but no character other than Jesus in the Bible is set out to be the perfect example. For Abraham, we'd see his good faith in doing what God has commanded him to do and to go where God guided him to go. But there's still bad characteristics for certain characters. So, it's not really a valid argument he's giving. He doesn't understand how I see them. There's a lot of bad characters, a lot of bad things in the Bible. I guess true. But even for people we consider the good guys, even though no one is good but God alone. Like David, for example. I plan to, God willing, soon be working on King David, a YouTube drama, and he slept with Bathsheba. He took another man's life, and not only did he take another man's wife, but he had him killed. And King David is called a man who sought after the Lord's own heart. So, even though these characters we call good, they still make mistakes, horrible mistakes. And they're not considered the perfect examples in Christianity. So, his argument is invalid. Yep. He says, "So my friend, do not defend your faith, question it today, and get rid of this man-made curse now." Yeah, it's kind of funny and sad when someone makes a comment as ignorant as that. Funny because it's just utterly ridiculous, but it's probably more sad because it's just pathetic. He says he's an enemy of none and friend of all. Well, enemy of God, if you... Yeah. Another individual says... he comments about the terrorist, or at least alleged terrorist. I think we're pretty sure he's a terrorist by now, who has come from Guantanamo Bay to Canada, and he says, as you know, Kader, that sole excuse for a human being is back in Canada. Send him some prayers. God will sort that loser out. And he heard I was born again, apparently. Yeah. And that's a horrible attitude to have. This man is clearly, assuming he is guilty, is a horrible, abomination before God. But I'm not going to pray that he dies or is cursed, has a miserable life, or suffers more, somehow spends more time in jail, if that's even possible. I think he might have a life sentence. I'm going to pray for his blessing and his eternal salvation. Jesus said, pray for those who persecute you and love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. So it's a completely wrong attitude to have. Even though he's clearly, assuming he's guilty once again, a hateful and evil individual, I'm still going to love on him and pray for him. And another individual says, or comments, if you could encourage someone in a severe trial like Job, what would you say? Thank you. Well, I think I do in part what Job did, and just keep going with his attitude of, you know what, God, you've sent these trials into my life. It might be family conflict, it might be parents with cancer, tumors, or various diseases. I think the best attitude to have in very difficult situations such as this is to just have a one-mindedness and just say, God, you've brought this into my life, and I accept it, and I'm still going to worship you, I'm still going to stay by your side and live by your commandments. I'm not going to let this come between us. Because if you understand, I know people find this controversial, but in the Bible, according to the Bible, every man deserves hell because of his sins. If you realize that, then when bad things happen to you, you won't be like, I'm such a good person. You're going to be like, okay, you know what, I deserve hell. This isn't that bad compared to that. In times of persecution, in times of trial, God can be using that to make you a better person. He can use that as a father would discipline a son to show you your faults and your weaknesses and your need to repent. So trials and pain and suffering, as bad as they may seem, can really help in the long run, and can actually be more of a good thing than a bad, if you can just look past the emotion and the feelings that come along with pain and suffering. And I would just keep having a good prayer life and staying in the Word, and just this attitude that Job had, wherein he said, though he slay me, yet I will hope in him. And I think that's the best attitude you could have. And you keep staying faithful to God, and you never use your trials as an excuse for sin. So yeah, there's my response for the comments, and goodbye for now.